Now, as already I told to you in lecture 1 that frictional force is an electromagnetic force. It is an electromagnetic force which arises because of the tight contact of the particles situated at the contact surface. There will be an electromagnetic force between the atom of one surface and atom of other surface which are at the contact, and because of that friction develops. So that's why friction do not depend upon the area of contact, but it depends upon the number of particles which are in the contact. If more number of particles are in contact, suppose surface is perfectly smooth, then large number of particles will be in contact and therefore friction will be increased. In extra smooth surfaces, friction will be more. It's clear. Now see here, suppose this is a body which is lying on a ground. And here I am using same symbols which have been used in your book. This is a surface. On this surface, a body of mass m is situated. This is a body of mass m is situated. Since it is situated here, therefore, what will happen? Its mass is m, therefore, its weight will act vertically downward. What will be the weight? Weight will be equal to m into g. And a normal reactionary force is acting vertically upward. So that I am showing that normal reactionary force is acting vertically upward. So that has been shown here. What will be the relation between P and mg? Both will be equal in magnitude. This is the normal reactionary force. Reactionary force. And this is also a electromagnetic force. This force is also a electromagnetic force. It's clear. So this is acting vertically upward, weight is acting vertically downward from center of gravity. What will be the relation between both? P will be equal to mg, and their directions will be opposite. Its direction is upward and its direction is downward. Now, if you apply an external force on this, if we apply an external force on this body and body do not move, So see here, I have applied an external force here, but the body is not moving. The external force has been applied in this direction. You can see here. It has been. It has been applied in this direction, but the body is not moving. Body is not moving, it means the resultant of all these three forces will be zero. It's clear. You can see here. This external force F has been applied on this body, but the body is still not moving. Body is not moving, it means the resultant of these three forces is zero. But resultant of these three forces cannot be zero if they are having these directions as shown here. It cannot be zero if they are having these directions as shown here. It's clear? And why it cannot be zero? Because P is cancelling to the mg, but there is no force which is cancelling out to the F. There is no force which is cancelling out to the F. It is clear? You see once again, here this is a surface. Over this body is placed whose mass is m. How many forces will act upon the body? So one is its weight, mg acting vertically downward from the center of gravity, and other is normal reactionary force, which is acting vertically upward, which we have denoted P. What is the relation between P and mg? It will be equal to each other and directions will be opposite. Now this external force has been applied some external agent, but the body is not moving. It means what we can say? We can say that the resultant of all these three forces will be zero. It will be zero. But this cannot be zero with with these direction. With these direction, it cannot be zero. And why it cannot be zero? Because P is cancelling out to the mg. There is no force in this direction to cancel out F. There is no force in this direction to cancel out F. In order to cancel F, there is no force. Now see here, it means what will happen? Direction of one of the force will be changed. So see here, its direction cannot change because weight is always acting vertically downward. Its direction cannot change because this is applied by the external agent in this direction. It is applied by external agent in this direction. So what will happen? The direction of this force will be changed. Direction of this force will be changed, and now it will be inclined towards the left. It will be inclined towards the left. Means if I show you, it will be like this. You see here, under the influence of the external force mg, what will be the direction of the force P? You can see here. Weight is still acting vertically downward because this direction cannot change. External force will still act in the same direction because this has been applied by external agent in this direction. So in order to make the resultant of all the three forces zero, because the body is not moving, that's why the resultant will be zero. So now P will act in this direction. The force P will act in this direction. When it will act in this direction, we can resolve this force in two components. One is in this direction, one is the normal to the surface. This direction is normal to the surface, surface is this. This direction is normal to the surface, and this is along the surface. So this component which is acting along the surface, that is called the static frictional force. While this component which is acting along this direction, that is now normal reaction. That will be normal reaction. It's clear? That force will be the normal reaction. So here you can see here, I am writing the same thing. When force, when body is lying on the surface, two forces acts upon it. Two forces acts upon it. Number one, weight mg acting vertically downward. Vertically downward. And number 2, normal reactionary force. Acting vertically upward. And this normal reactionary force, it is an electromagnetic force. It arises because of the interaction of these particles when they are in the closed contact, when the particles of both the surfaces are in the closed contact. It's clear? And this closed contact happens because of the weight, because the body is pressing to the table in downward direction. So these particles at the surface come in the closed contact, and due to that, normal reactionary force develops. It's clear? Both forces will be equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Opposite in direction. They are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, as I have shown here. P and mg both are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. It's clear? Normal reactionary force I have denoted by P. Now you can see here, when an external force is applied and the body do not move. Now see here, when external force is applied and body do not move. External force is applied and body do not move. So see here, then resultant of all the three forces. And what are those three forces? One is weight mg, other is the normal reactionary force P, and third is F. Will be zero. Be zero. It's clear? And in order to make the resultant of this and this zero, P changes the direction. P changes its direction, which was earlier acting in this direction, now acts, it is inclines towards the left. It's clear? Because these two cannot change the direction. So to make resultant zero, make resultant zero, force P inclines towards left. And why it is inclining towards left? Because the external force is acting towards right. It is acting towards right. Now, if you apply this force in this direction, then you can see here, I am showing you, if the force is acting, this is the body, its weight is acting in this direction. Earlier, normal reactionary force was acting in this direction, and the force P, force F is acting now this. So, in the absence of this force, force P was acting in this direction. In absence of this force, force P was acting in this direction. But now what will happen? Because of applying this, it is still not moving, therefore net force will be zero, therefore force P now inclines towards the right. It is inclining towards the right. So it depends upon the position, on that fact that in which direction force F is acting. It will depend upon the fact that in which direction force F is acting. Towards left. So now we can resolve the force F into two components. One is along the surface and other is normal to the surface. This component we have denoted by R and this component is denoted by Fs. R will balance to mg and Fs will balance to F. Net force will become 0 and it will remain static. It will remain static even after applying this. It's clear? Even after applying to this force. Perhaps this fact will be clear to you. So this force Fs, which is acting along the surface. Here, this force I have shown here, but actually it acts here. Actually, it acts in this direction, at the contact surface. It's clear? You can see here. In the other diagram, I am showing you more clearly. Here, just for the clarity, I have shown slightly up. You can see force F is acting vertically downward, mg is acting vertically downward. Normal reactionary force was acting in this direction. Now, when the force F has been applied here, what will happen? This normal reactionary force, it will change, it will incline in this direction. Now it is acting in this direction. This component is Fs. Component of P along the surface is Fs. And component of P normal to the surface is normal reactionary force. R is balancing to mg and Fs is balancing to the external force. It is balancing to the external force. So this Fs we call as the static frictional force. Static frictional force. This force is called the static frictional force. It is clear? Now see here. If you see here, you will find that when we increase the magnitude of this, what will be here, if you take this angle as theta, it will be, Fs will be P cos theta. It will be P cos theta. It's clear? Now all of you see here, Fs equals to P cos theta. Now, and if you take this side, so this will be equal to what? R will be P sin theta. R will be P sin theta. When theta decreases, what will be the effect on the change in the value of P? Change in the value of cos theta. When theta changes, then what will be the change in value of cos theta? So theta is decreasing, cos theta increases. It's clear. But sin theta decreases. You can see here cos 0 degree is 1, while the cos 90 degree is 0. So see here, if you increase the magnitude of the force and it is still not moving, you have increased the magnitude of the force, but it is still not moving. So what will happen? This force of friction P will change its magnitude. This force P will change its magnitude as well as it will change to this angle also. Suppose the force F was earlier 10 Newton. Now you have made it 15 Newton and still the body is not moving. It means what has happened? P has changed in magnitude as well as this angle will also be changed. It will incline more towards the surface. It will incline more towards the surface. It is clear? So we can say that this force is self-adjusting in magnitude as well as in direction. It is self-adjusting in magnitude as well as in direction. And it always keep its magnitude equal to F. It always keep its magnitude equal to F. It's clear? And direction will be opposite to F. So we can say that the static frictional force is self-adjusting in the magnitude as well as in the direction. It will be self-adjusting in magnitude as well as in the direction. But what will happen to this R? Though P is changing, theta is changing, but R will remain same. R will remain same. And why it will remain same? Here P has increased in magnitude. Its magnitude has increased. But what will happen to the theta? Theta is decreasing, therefore sine theta is decreasing. Therefore sine theta decreases. It's clear? When you have increased the magnitude from 10 to 15, body is still not moving. What has happened? P has increased in magnitude, but the theta has decreased. Because of this, this will be increased because P has increased and cos theta is also increasing with decrease in this. But what will happen to the R? R will remain as it is. R will remain equal to mg. There will be no change here. It's clear? Here there will be no change. So we can say that static frictional force Fs, it is self-adjusting in magnitude as well as in the direction. But it can increase its magnitude up to a certain limit. Its magnitude cannot be more than the external force. It's clear? Its magnitude cannot be more than the external force. When F is 0, when this force is not acting, then what will happen? There will be no Fs because in that case P is acting in this direction. You have seen here. Here you have seen that when F force is not acting, P is acting along this. If you find out the component Fs, P cos 90 is 0, so it will be 0. It is clear? So see here, there are some important points regarding the static frictional force. You can see here. Number 1, force of friction acts even in that case also when body is relatively at rest. Under the influence of contact force, under the influence of external force. Force of friction acts even in that case also when body is relatively at rest with respect to the contact surface. Relatively at rest with respect to the contact surface. Under the influence of the external force. It's clear? Force is acting, but the body is at rest. Now, this force of friction is called static frictional force. Static frictional force. This force we call as the static frictional force. It's clear? Now see here, magnitude of this static frictional force static frictional force is equal to external force and direction is opposite to that, and direction is opposite to that. It always acts along the tangential surface, along the tangential direction to contact surface. Along the tangential direction to the contact surface means it will act here. It will act here. It will not act here. It will act along the contact surface, tangential to the contact surface, opposite to direction of external force that already I have told. It's clear. Its magnitude, it adjusts its magnitude. Its magnitude according to magnitude of external force. It's clear. It will adjust its magnitude according to the magnitude of external force. Means as you keep on increasing this, it will also increase, but it cannot increase indefinitely. It cannot increase indefinitely. And why it cannot increase indefinitely? Because this force can increase only up to a certain limit, which depends upon the nature of contact surface. It's clear. When you are increasing the external force, this P will also increase. This Fs will also increase, but it cannot increase indefinitely. It's clear. It can increase up to a certain value of force, and when external force becomes more than its maximum value, it will come into the motion. So this is the second important point. Static frictional force. Frictional force can increase its magnitude only up to a certain value, which depends upon nature of contact surface, which depends upon the nature of contact surface. It is clear. When external force just becomes equal to maximum value of static friction, then body is said to be in limiting equilibrium. Said to be in limiting equilibrium. Limiting equilibrium means just it will come into the motion. It will just come into the motion. You can see here. This is mg. This is the force P. This component we have named as R, and this component which is acting in this direction, that is Fs, and external force acting here. Suppose its maximum value is Fs maximum is 100 Newton. Means its maximum value can go up to the 100 Newton. When you have applied this as 10 Newton, what will be its value? Its value will be only 10 Newton. When you have made it 20 Newton, its value will be 20 Newton. When you have made it 30 Newton, its value will be 30 Newton. Though it can have this much value also. You have made the force 100 Newton, it will be 100 Newton. It's clear? But when you have applied 101 Newton, it will still remain 100. Now it will not increase. Now it cannot achieve more value. So see here, when the external force just becomes equal to the maximum value of static friction, body will be in the limiting friction. If you apply a force of this Newton, 100.001 Newton, which is how much greater than the maximum value? 0.001 Newton. Body will come immediately into the motion. Body will come immediately into the motion. So we can say that the static frictional, when external force was not acting, this was also 0. So it is self-adjusting in magnitude as well as it is self-adjusting in direction. But in no case its value can go beyond this maximum value, which depends upon what? Which depends upon the nature of contact surface. It depends upon the nature of the contact surface. It is clear? Now see here, what is the relation between this? How will you find the relation? So see here, we can see today I'm mg acts vertically downward. Now I am showing all the forces. R is acting vertically upward. This is P and this is the Fs. And here external force acting this way. What will be the relation between Fs and R? So see here, if you have taken this component as theta, we have taken this component as theta. So what will be R? R will be equals to P cos theta. Fs will be equal to what? It will be P sin theta. It is P sin theta. Now you divide P sin theta upon P cos theta. P sin theta upon P cos theta. That is Fs upon R. So P and P cancel. Here you can see sin upon cos it tan theta equals to Fs upon R. Now this theta at which body just come into the motion. And here this is the Fs maximum. This is the Fs maximum. It's clear. Fs means you remember Fs maximum. So this angle at which body just come into the motion is known as angle of friction. Angle of friction. What is angle of friction? It is the